For over 45 years, the Federated Auto Racing Championships have served as a bridge for talented drivers and rich children to cross on their way to glory in the big leagues of stock car racing. And the FARC Lowe Series will continue to bring the thrills and spills as the strongest field we've seen in recent memory does battle across 16 race weekends. The Lowe Series will continue to race on a healthy mix of short tracks, super speedways, dirt tracks, road courses, and even a Carl's Superstore parking lot. However, the prestigious Rockford 200 is once again gone from the schedule, replaced by the first running of the Smash Beer Oktoberfest Nationals. While we don't have full details yet, we do know that this race will be held at a different short track every year, and it promises to accommodate a huge entry list like the Rockford 200 in the past. A couple of other changes for this season involve the point system. Finishing towards the front of the field is going to carry a lot more weight than it has in the past. Finishing 6th through 15th will see your points decrease by 2 for every position, and then every position from 16th on back pays 1 fewer point until you get to 5 points for a 40th place finish. However, there are additional points up for grabs for the drivers competing in the new Trophy Dashes. The Trophy Dash will be a short race featuring all of the drivers who failed to qualify for the feature, and the top 5 finishers will receive a small amount of bonus points. Speaking of bonus points, the Hard Charger bonus awarded to the driver who makes up the most positions from the start of the race will be dropped for this season, seemingly after the bonus helped Billy Ray Smith-Thompson win the championship by 2 points over Lev Azarov last year. All of the other bonus points remain intact, aside from the pole position now being worth 10 points instead of 20. However, the biggest change to the championship format will be the new best of 10 rule. Out of the first 15 races, only the best 10 of a driver's results will count towards the championship, plus whatever points they score during the Smash Beer Oktoberfest Nationals. This rule was implemented to help some of the smaller teams remain viable in the sport without having to make it to all of the races, and without having to arbitrarily reset everybody's points like in the ill-fated FARC-off format used in 2016. And now let's bring you the starting lineup of today's Smash Beer Get Smashed 108 at the Remembrance Stadium in San Antonio, Texas, as part of a massive lineup of races, including the TM Lights and the TM Master Cup Series. And it's former Master Cup Series driver Mason Yokoyama taking the pole over Series regular Rick Forrest, now driving the Pearson Sweeney number 8. We've got a lot of new faces starting towards the front of this field. Manny Green, Kerry Fenton, Michaela Perry-Jones, Donnie Ashcroft, and Jacob Card. Another former Master Cup driver up there, but they're mixed in among some of the heavy hitters, including Jim Kidd and Rip Tyler, making his return to the series after a stint in sports cars. Anthony Griffith is also making his full-time return to the series, replacing Bob Steffens in the Team Thunder number 7. Billy Ray Smith-Thompson, the defending series champion, starts all the way down in 13th. I thought he would have qualified a little bit higher, but that's still not a bad starting position. He is followed by Yevgeny Kuznetsov and Todd Stater. Kurt Walker, racing in his home state, qualifies 16th, the highest among his now 3-car team. He will be joined today by Carl Hampton and Mark Thompson, who in fact will drive that 98 car at every other race except for Texas Motor Speedway and La Crosse. And you might have noticed, driving the Pearson Sweeney number 2 is Harry S. Enola. Enola takes over the 2 while his teammate Billy Ray Smith-Thompson is reunited with his old FARC Truck Series number 42. A couple of other notable rookies include Dylan Fair in the 477 for the Doppelgang, a team that finally won its first race last year, and Noah Dallitz in the M&J Racing 63 taking over for the retiring Kevin Monroe. And now we have the back of the field, which includes the aforementioned Mark Thompson, who qualified pretty deep compared to his teammates. Ryan Forrest was also disappointed after qualifying, only managing 35th in the car that his brother Rick won last year's season opener with. Andrea Kinasa, reunited with Ken Groves Racing this year, managed to take the last spot on time, and Harv Henry and Jeff Moynihan are the 2 wildcard recipients. And now let's take a quick look at the Trophy Dash results. These drivers failed to qualify for the main race, but Grant Carsons, Todd Lacey, Sergei Yakovsky, Farrell Burgundy, and Kelly Splicen will still take home a few points. And you'll see that we had 26 cars in the Trophy Dash alone, 66 cars overall on this entry list, and only 40 could qualify. And thanks to the new Best of 10 championship rule, I have a feeling we'll be seeing a lot of high car counts this year. And now we finally take you trackside for the highlights of the opening round of the FARC Low Dollar Series, the Smash Beer Get Smashed 108. Jeff Moynihan in the 872 becomes the first casualty of the new season as his car comes to a stop, underpacing, a waste of a wild card as he does not get it refired and drops out before the green. Mason Yokoyama edges out ahead of Rick Forrest at the drop of the green flag, but here comes Forrest powering around the outside to take the early lead. Rick Forrest making great use of his new opportunity with Pearson Sweeney Motorsports to lead the first lap. Yokoyama now has the 18 of Jim Kidd all over him, but we've got trouble on lap 2. You have Jenny Kuznetsov gets turned to the inside, and a big pileup ensues in turn 3 as Brandon Krasta goes tumbling down the banking. But Krasta would be the only car to drop out from this. He had a little bit of contact with Chuck Johnson beforehand, and a little help from Brian Bolden sends the 630 tumbling down the track. Good news for Krasta, he now has won the Vicker Collision and Glass rollover bonus, $800 for that team for rolling over their car. And that contact actually helped Chuck Johnson, forced him to the inside where a path opened up for the 46 to get through. A rare stroke of luck for that team. Rick Forrest continues to lead on the restart. Jim Kidd took second from Mason Yokoyama before that caution, but we have several cars peeling off into the pits during this green flag run. Dan Legleiter, Riley Durbin, Carl Hampton, and Harry S. Enola. It seems that all these guys had tires going down after running over debris thanks to that huge pileup. Jim Kidd wants the lead now on lap 11, and he's also going to use that outside line to make it happen. There's just a little bit more grip and a little bit of extra banking up at the top that some of these drivers are really using to their advantage. And Jim Kidd completes the pass right before another caution. Michaela Perry-Jones and Donnie Ashcroft getting together, taking Packer Carroll into the wall. Truman Ellison in the 03 also got a piece of that, but everyone keeps going. We've got a few takers on pit road under this caution. Hunter Blaze, Anthony Griffith, Billy Ray Smith-Thompson, and second place, Rick Forrest. Jim Kidd stays out and keeps the lead for the restart, but behind him, moving up into second place, is his teammate, Britt Tyler. But here comes Riley Durbin, trying to get one of his laps back. He changed tires after pitting under green, and it definitely shows. But now tire problems strike Jacob Card in the 77, the second entry for Team Thunder. He loses a lap, as well as Rick Forrest as this green flag run goes on. Looks like some of the adjustments they made to the number 8 have not worked out. Rick Forrest going a lap down on lap 31. More problems for Michaela Perry-Jones as she starts slowing down. Entering turn 1, she's trying to get up to the top where the pits are, but that's not going to happen. Her car comes to a stop in the middle of turn 2. She gets hit by a couple cars. Carrie Fenton, Riley Durbin, Dan Mayato in the 74, as well as defending champion Billy Ray Smith-Thompson. Donnie Ashcroft again collected in an incident with the 93. Another early pileup wipes out several more cars, including Billy Ray Smith-Thompson, who had made his way back up to 11th after pitting under that last caution. But that's going to be the end of the day for our defending series champion. This time around, all of the leaders would pit. Great pit work by the Power Surge America teams. Get Jim Kidd and Rick Tyler out first and second, maintaining their spots. But we've got a big battle for the lead now after the restart. Jim Kidd went from being the early front runner to practically holding up the field now, as Todd Stater, Packer Carroll, and Mark Thompson all seem to have made great adjustments and are now in a 5-car battle for the lead. 3 wide, or at least Todd Stater tries to make it 3 wide. Looks like he thought better of it. Stater trying again now. Now contact with the 18. Rip Tyler uses the opportunity to sneak around the outside to take the lead, but for how long? It looks like Todd Stater and Mark Thompson have the fastest cars among this group now. Stater now making a move on the inside, which we have not seen yet today. And the battle would soon play out with Todd Stater and Mark Thompson now duking it out among themselves. The others have faded a little bit. Thompson going around the outside now. He takes the lead in the number 89 that he will be driving just a few times this year, as his team owner, Kurt Walker, takes the 98 for himself. But now Thompson has trouble with the 44 of Harv Henry. Stater takes the lead back. But Thompson isn't done yet. He easily reels the 66 back in, trying around the outside once again. And just look at the run he's going to get out of turn 4. That topside is definitely the place to be for most of these cars. And on lap 51, just a few laps shy of the halfway point, Thompson clears Stater, and Stater just doesn't have a chance as Thompson starts to pull away. Meanwhile, we've got a big battle for third place among the two Lakoya-backed teams, Accelerator Motorsports and Power Surge America. Zach Webster gets by Rip Tyler and Jim Kidd for third, as Hunter Blaze follows. Zach Webster made a nice recovery in 2017, picking up a win at Louisville, and he looks to have a great start to this season as well. But we've got a caution. Ryan Bolden and Dan Lecklider getting together, bouncing off the inside wall. Fortunately, nobody hits the 10, but this is just going to continue a day that Dan Lecklider would like to forget. This was a bit of a hairy moment for your leader, Mark Thompson, as you see him just getting by the 10 on the outside. Thompson leads the field into a second round of pit stops just past the halfway point. Everybody comes onto pit road except for that pink number 03 car of Truman Ellison, who leapfrogs everybody and takes the lead on strategy. But I don't know how well this is going to work out for him, as Ellison hasn't quite had the pace of the leaders, and his tires are about 20 laps older than everybody else's, but he's got some lapped cars starting in between himself and everybody else, so that provides a nice cushion. But we've got an immediate caution. Riley Durbin and Jacob Card getting together off of turn 2, sending the 38 spinning into the inside wall. So much for Truman Ellison's strategy. He comes into the pits to make his stop under this yellow, handing the lead back over to Mark Thompson. Hunter Blaze took second from Todd Stater during the last round of stops, but he's not able to put the pressure on Thompson for now. Meanwhile, Thompson's teammate and car owner Kurt Walker is making a lot of moves on this restart. The 98 team took a big swing at that car in the pits, and it's working out beautifully for him, as he's passing cars like he's the star of a bad racing movie. You saw Walker break into the top 10. In the last shot, he has just taken 7th from Jim Kidd, who started to fade a little bit, and now he's taken 6th from Packer Carroll. Meanwhile, the battle for second heats up. Zach Webster continuing to move forward as he takes the spot from Hunter Blaze. Todd Stater is coming back a little bit as he now tries to take third from the 17, but we've got trouble. Manny Green up top, out of the racing line, but he can't make it back to the pits. Caution comes out for the 53. This brings the 41 of Webster right up to Thompson's back bumper on the restart, and with the lapped cars out of the way, he is all over the 89. Zach Webster has definitely emerged as a contender. As we approach 30 laps to go, here he is making the move on the inside, which has been Webster's preferred line all race long. And as we now hit lap 80 of 108, Zach Webster successfully takes the lead. But he's not going to pull away yet, as we've got another caution. Carl Hampton in the 99 for Kurt Walker gets turned into the wall by Anthony Griffith and collects the pole sitter, Mason Yokoyama, who has been slowly fading through the field. He simply has not shown the speed that won him the pole, and was running 12th at the time of this wreck. A jarring end to a disappointing day for Mason Yokoyama. But this caution wouldn't be much of a problem for Zach Webster as he pulls away from Mark Thompson. After the restart, Thompson struggles with the 2 of Harry Asinola, who then blows up, and then gets hammered by the 66 of Todd Stater, who is running in third, and Chuck Johnson's luck runs out as he clips the number 2. A frustrating day continues for the Pearson Sweeney team, and Todd Stater, after a great run, is going to go out as well as Chuck Johnson. And now Zach Webster has trouble. He's making a move for the pits under this caution. The same problem that plagued so many drivers after the first pileup. He ran over some debris passing the accident scene. This hands the lead back over to Mark Thompson, who has had one of the dominant cars. And with just 10 laps to go, this is looking really good for Thompson, who now has a stable ride full-time with Kurt Walker Motorsports. But don't count out Kurt Walker himself, who still has a very fast car under him. If only he wasn't stuck wrestling with the lapped car of Aaron Coultier, who has made this car as wide as the whole track. As tough as that is to do, Walker definitely wants to get up there and race with his teammate, and Coultier finally relents with 6 laps to go. Mark Thompson, trying to capture his first win since 2016 when he grabbed 3 of them, is up to a straightaways lead. But Kurt Walker is reeling him in. He still has the fastest car on the racetrack. There are no team orders in play over at Walker Texas Racing. Kurt Walker, racing in his home state, wants to win just as badly as Mark Thompson does. But he still has a significant gap to make up as we now cross the line with just 2 laps to go. Thompson just needs these last 2 laps to go smoothly and the race is his, but there are pitting lapped cars in front of him. Thompson has to slam on the brakes to not hit the 38 of Riley Durbin. I'm not sure why we have those cars pitting coming to the white flag, but they've really screwed things up for Mark Thompson, as Walker is right there as they take the white flag. Walker on the inside, Thompson trying to hold on to the outside, his trusty line, but it's not going to work out for him this time. Walker has the run coming into turn 3, and he powers ahead very easily. Kurt Walker, with the last lap pass, is going to take the win at Remembrance Field. Mark Thompson led the most laps today, but not the one that mattered the most. The veterans would shine in today's race, as none of the rookies finished in the top 10. In fact, the highest finishing rookie was Jacob Card, a former TM Master Cup Series driver, with a 13th place finish. But while many of the heavy hitters finished at the front of the field, several others came away disappointed, as crashes and mechanical failures took out several contenders, including defending champion Billy Ray Smith-Thompson and pole sitter Mason Yokoyama. And of course, with this being the first race, the point standings are not going to look that much different from the results, except for a little bit of shuffling thanks to bonus points. The real shuffling will come in the next few races, when the series regulars will overtake today's one-offs, including race winner Kurt Walker. Next week, the FARC Lowe Series heads to the quarter-mile Sayre Speedway in Alabama for the running of the Mo Lester for Senate 125. Yes, that is the same Mo Lester who failed to qualify for today's race. He'll certainly be hoping to make the show next time, and the rest of us are hoping for a thrilling night. And you can catch it all right here on the FARC Racing Network.